are new parties that they may get involved into this war without any invitation.
Former Deputy National Security Advisor to President Trump, K.T. McFarland, says that many countries have beefed up their own pipelines to try to avoid doing business through the strait controlled by Iran.
We've gone through the Strait of Hormuz. They always had pipelines, but they never really put a lot of oomph into them. Those pipelines have been jazzed up, and new pipelines are being built to totally avoid the Strait of Hormuz. Not just for Iran, but for every country in the region whose oil exports are affected by Iranian blackmail.
McFarland stresses the blockade is still in effect in Iran, with no ships getting through the strait. Major oil companies report massive profits while fighting between Iran and the U.S. impeded petroleum shipments. Prices for Brent crude soared above $100 a barrel for much of the spring. Constrained supplies meant consumers around the world paid more for fuel and were facing shortages. Right now on Wall Street, it is investors not sure which direction to go. They've all been fluctuating. The Dow right now back up by 93 points at this hour. The NASDAQ back up into positive territory, up by about 2 points, and the S&P 500 up by about a half a point. More from townhall.com.
Well, it's official. My friends have all switched to Pure Talk because I told them they could save a bunch of money on a super reliable high-speed network with unlimited data. And because they're my friends, they trust me. As for the rest of you, well, Pure Talk understands that even though you might like me, you're not just going to take my word for it, nor should you. For that reason, and for a very limited time, Pure Talk is offering any of their plans for just $15 a month for the first 3 months, including their top-tier unlimited plan that normally sells for $65 a month. Think of it like a test drive, a super simple way to save $150 while you kick the tires on Pure Talk's blazing fast network, and a fine way to see for yourself why I switched from Big Wireless, along with a few 100,000 of my closest friends. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and be connected to Pure Talk's friendly U.S. customer service team. Again, dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and let the savings begin.
Here's Rich Thomason now with a midday Wall Street business report.
Strong earnings reports from American tech giants, including Apple, have sent overseas stock markets soaring, and Wall Street opened higher this morning. Strong iPhone and MacBook computer sales boosted Apple's results beyond Wall Street's expectations. Amazon plans to boost spending on tech, mostly AI, by an additional 10%. This after the tech and e-commerce giant delivered strong profits and net sales during the fiscal second quarter, helped by surging growth in its prominent cloud computing unit. Amazon reported net income of $62.65 billion, or $5.75 per share, in the 3-month period ending June 30th. Anthropic says its AI models hacked into 3 organizations during testing. This comes just days after OpenAI said its AI models went rogue and hacked into another company. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
Breaking news and analysis at townhall.com. Life remains in disarray days after a deadly earthquake in Japan. Some of the survivors of the big quake in the southwestern part of the country now said to be sleeping in their cars as electricity and water remains scarce.
Residents evacuated from their homes in southwestern Japan have been sleeping in their cars after a powerful earthquake killed at least 34 people. Kazuo Sato, a father of 3, lost his home after the magnitude 7.1 earthquake hit Kumamoto Prefecture on Tuesday. He was worried his 1-year-old baby will disturb other people in the evacuation center. Like many others, Sato and his family decided to live in their car for the time being. Nearly 19,000 homes were still without electricity. Meanwhile, concerns were growing about illness, including from the sweltering heat. I'm Karen Shamas.
You'll find more of these stories, breaking news, and analysis at
All right, here we are. Nice and smooth. That's it, Tyler. I like how Tyler, he's getting really good at that button stuff over there. Tyler's pushing buttons, making things happen. Give him a big round of applause. I don't have the effects, special effects button, but big round of applause. Tyler does an amazing job managing this show and many other things in my life. He's a godsend, I can tell you. WICH, this is the One Table Radio Show. Your host, Kevin Allen, with Tyler. We're here each Friday. We're going to have on today with us, as we usually do, We'll have Angela Adams from the Chamber Chat, or the Chamber, the Greater Knowledge Chamber, comes on each week. Angela brings in local people from different interesting topics. And today we're going to be talking with Jennifer Granger from the UCFS. She is the chairman and CEO, a president rather, and CEO, acting in both those capacities as their title much deserved. And I remember when Jennifer got sat in that position, and we'll talk about that, I'm sure, on the show today. But welcome. It's Friday the 31st of July. Tyler, what happened to July, bro?
Yeah, July just flew by, man. It's crazy.
Why?
I don't know. It's like this whole summer, honestly. 2026, really, realistically.
So you think 2026 is flying by? It is actually flying by. We're closer actually to 2027 now than we are to 2026.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is crazy. That's crazy. It's bananas. And I think like time. Maybe they say when you get older, time starts to go faster.
Well, yeah, because everything's based on what you know. So the more time you have been on this earth, the less 1 year seems relatively to you.
Right. Well, that's true. Maybe that's I don't feel that way. So, I mean, I haven't felt time flying by, but I think now that I've slowed down in my life, I do feel time is like I personally slow down, and I think now I pay more attention to how time is moving. So it's interesting, and the concept here that we're, not concept, but the one we're talking about at this point of the year, we're right at August, September, October, my favorite time of year into the fall, especially in New England. It's the most beautiful time of year. And, then we're in the, winter holidays and so many amazing things. I don't want to get, too much into the entrepreneurial dream that I have, been working on, but Uncle Earl is launching in November. Can't wait to see that happen. It's going to be great. Just working with the community on that, and just trying to get another business in downtown Knowledge. We're talking with the city here about that. So when we talk about like your past, what's your favorite memory of summer, Tyler? You gotta have a favorite memory from summer.
I always enjoy my family reunions.
What were they like? What'd you guys do?
As a child, it was basically free reign. I would go up and it was all family, so we would have the whole campground, and I would just...
Like you guys did it at a campground?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Boca Raton Campground, the Chandler family reunion. My grandma's one of 12 kids. My mom is one of 10 kids.
Oh, wow.
So, yes, very big family, and...
Still got a big family now? A lot of people still around and a big family?
Yes. I don't partake in my family reunions anymore. A lot of my family like to drink, and... that is not my...
Hey, I think things change in our lives, and but you have a fond memory as a kid. That's awesome. And if you're out there, hey, how are you? Nice. How you been? I've been down to Sneakers. I haven't seen you there. I don't know if you're still working there. If you have a family, a memory in your summer before Angela shows up, guys, call in 860-889-5252. This is the memories we build. Like, I mean, summers to me were the most memorable part of my childhood, and it wasn't because of having a lot of money. It was like going, nobody, you didn't need money to go crabbing in the Thames River where I grew up. Me and my brother and all the guys or whatever. We go down, we get crabs. We go to the we either borrow corn from another neighbor or maybe take corn from my grandma's garden, and we'd have ourselves a good time. Steal a couple Schaefer beer bottles, and that was our summer memories, man. It sounds like something off a Sandlot compared to what today is, really. I don't know if you know I'm talking about the reference to Sandlot.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's crazy. Time flies. We fly. Technology flies. And I just want to talk about some upcoming things that are happening. And so we don't have all the details, and there's a contract yet to be written. We do have a conversation with the Chestnut, and we did make an announcement about that. I think we might have taken it down or whatever, because although we don't need to take it down, we're still getting some details just to make sure we have a hard yes with the time and the date and all that stuff. But sometime in October, it looks like we're going to be helping lead a discussion with One Table speaking series, which is to really have a really great conversation about people coming together. That's what the One Table speaking series is about. And Jen, take a seat. Actually, can you get us out over there? Perfect. And anywhere you want to. Perfect. And entering the room, and Angela, if you're listening, we already have your guest already arrived, and you're not here yet, but no big deal. That's okay. You want to slap that headset on, Jen? Right here. And so, yeah, I'm talking about like upcoming events like at the Chestnut. What we're planning on doing is bringing a group of panelists together. And Steve Elsey, if you might know the name Elsey from another, we won't talk about it, satellite location where they do talk radio. But Lee Elsey's brother Steve is a Emmy Award-winning musician from London, Connecticut, and he and I have decided to come together and create one table speaking series at the Chestnut where we're going to bring panelists, and it's going to be a live podcast. And so you'll be able to, people in attendance will be able to ask questions, and it'll be engagement, and it'll be a real fun way of actually us bringing conversations to the table, which is the One Table Radio Show right here. And so it looks like our guest has arrived, and before we go into that, how much time to the break, Tyler?
We got 7 minutes.
7 minutes. Well, I'm not going to hold up, this amazing. I know you're a busy person. First and foremost, Jen, it's been a long time since I've seen you.
It's been a while.
Wow.
Yeah.
Up in Griswold. Yeah, 7 years.
Jewett City, 7 years.
So 7 years I've been out of office or whatever, and probably haven't bumped into you too much, if I have at all. What have you been up to? You're the president and CEO
Of United Community and Family Services. We call ourselves UCFS Healthcare for short.
Love it.
Easier on the tongue.
Yep. And so you've been doing. How long have you been in that position?
I have been the CEO for a little more than 10 years now. Yep.
That's amazing. Wow.
Yep. Since 2015. And it's been an incredible honor, a crazy ride, and something new and exciting happening every day.
So in this role, how did you tell me a little bit about your background? You came into the industry. Was it as a administrator, or were you in the healthcare field itself?
Yeah. So I have I came in through a research and science background, a bachelor's of biology and psychology, and then I moved into public health. Got my master's in public health. Really found an interest initially in women and women's and children's health. And my first job after I got my master's was with an organization called the Community Health Center Association of Connecticut.
Okay.
And it's a trade organization that works with agencies like ours from across the state. There are 17 community health centers across the state of Connecticut. UCFS is one of those. And I worked at that trade association with all the health centers for many years until finding my way. I decided to take an opportunity and work in one of the health centers. And that was back in 2011. I came as the chief operating officer for the first 4 years, and then was fortunate enough to be selected as the CEO. And
I was actually witness to some of that transition, right, from Chuck to you, and
correct.
And so pretty amazing when you go back to even that time where it's amazing to think, first of all, where did time go between this? I mean, we were just talking about time, and it's just amazing how fast time goes.
It does go fast, and I'm the keeper now. You mentioned Chuck Seaman, who held this position for 20 years, but UCFS has been a continuously operating non-for-profit organization helping meet the needs of the community since 1877. Wow. So we are coming up on our 150th anniversary next year.
Amazing. And anyone's listening out there, 860-889-5252. This is the One Table Radio Show on WYCH. And I am not just someone that has some memories. I'm also a patient. And I make that clear point. And it's not to get kudos or whatever. I'm not the same Kevin you used to know, by the way. I don't need to be cheered for. But the bottom line is, I joined your organization. And it was back when Chuck and we were all sitting around the table. We were bringing the facility up to Griswold.
Correct.
And, I was like, hey, if you can't put your money where your mouth is, you shouldn't put your mouth out there, right? And so I joined. I've had nothing but a pleasant experience with the facility, with the services, and of course the people. And Stacy, who's a rock star. So
she is a rock star. So just so that folks know, we do have 5 outpatient locations where we provide behavioral health and primary care. And in our Norwich location, we also have dental services. We're in 10 schools. We have school-based health centers. We have an elder care residence, Sheltering Arms, and an adult day center. So we're a pretty broad and diverse organization, but everything we do is focused on meeting the health and welfare needs of our community and making it a better place to live.
essentially, how many can you say how many patients you serve?
Sure,
Not specifics, but
yeah. So we serve about 18,600 unique individuals every year across those service lines, and do about 140,000 visits.
when you look at that, and Jen, I know you're a numbers, gal, so I'm pretty sure statistically, is there a heavier amount of mental health, physical health? Where's the majority of the services, or are they just kind of even across the board?
Yeah, so a lot of our service, about 58% of our visits are behavioral and mental health visits. So that is sort of weighted a little bit heavier at UCFS. That's really a function of how we kind of grew up over the years and how our services expanded. So we were a behavioral health agency before we added primary care, before we added dental services. So that's always been a larger portion of the work that we do at UCFS. But we provide integrated care across the lifespan. We want you to get all three services. If you need all three, we want you to get all three at UCFS.
Amazing. And so, Angela, I apologize. First of all, getting into them, thank you for coming in. I apologize. I was looking at this face from the past 10 years ago. I couldn't resist but to invite her in. So
That's okay.
yeah. Angela is in the room, guys. Just so anybody that's counting, she's the most important person on this chamber chat here. So welcome. How you doing?
That is not true.
No, it is true. How you doing?
How are you doing?
I'm doing amazing and happy. So I'm just excited, and being a part of watching the evolution of not just Jen's career, because I was there when we showed up, but also just seeing the organization's services to the community, right? And so mental health, and I tapped into, Angela, we're about 2 minutes from the break. When we come back in, you're going to lead the way. So excited now, but seriously, I'll bring you in. And let me just, the mental health piece is interesting, and you don't know this part of it, but I publicly talk. I wrote a book last year, and we talk a lot about my mental health.
Okay.
And I think it's important that we highlight some of those services that people can, because mental health and physical health to me was so combined. And I found it, once I dealt with one, I was able to deal with the other. And so, what are your thoughts? I mean, that must be the success stories you see in your practice.
The success stories we see. So we provide evidence-based behavioral and mental health services to individuals across the lifespan. So from very, very young little children all the way up to geriatric. We have an elder care residence. We provide behavioral health services to the those who live in that elder care residence. We provide individual, group, and family therapy for a whole variety of reasons, whether it's trauma, whether it is depression, anxiety. There are multiple things that substance use disorder. We provide medication-assisted treatment for opioid use disorder as well. So lots and lots of reasons. Gambling addiction. I could it just goes on and on.
Which is, and when we come back, breaking down all the services, and of course, we're going to get Angela involved because all the communities that you're involved with, basically Angela's involved with as well from her. And there's a lot of relationship between that chamber, the funders, the supporters, and the community. So
absolutely, it's a great community.
There's so much that we could highlight. I do want to get into some of those other services. We're a minute away, right there, perfect timing. Once a little later, we'll be back in a moment. We have the president and CEO of UCFS, and Angela Adams with her chamber chat update. Coming back after this break.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. The transition to drier weather continues as the system responsible for all of the recent rain moves offshore. Good riddance. We wrap up the work week brighter with only a chance for isolated showers this afternoon. Now, for the first weekend of August, while it may not be full of sunshine, it appears primarily dry. Also, both Saturday and Sunday will be a bit muggy with seasonable temperatures. Monday is a first alert weather day as another period of wet, potentially stormy weather appears likely. Outdoor plans could be impacted, and given the ground is saturated, we'll be monitoring the threat for flooding on Monday as we end up receiving heavier rain. Thereafter, we're going optimistically dry through the middle of next week. In the First Alert Forecast Center at Channel 3, I'm meteorologist Scott Haney, wishing you all a great, safe, and healthy weekend.
Hi everyone, Joyce Hart here from Hart's Greenhouse. Hart's biggest sale of the year is coming. Our mega sale starts August 1st and August 2nd. Doors open at 10 a.m. on Saturday. Come scoop up the best deals of the year at our 25th annual mega sale. Dollar deals galore with annuals starting at $1. Hanging baskets at $6 and perennials at $3. Big discounts on statuary, pottery, and nursery stock too. 20% off in our gift shop. It's a great time to dress up your pool, porch, or patio with awesome deals. Refresh your garden beds with some hardy perennials. Bring a wagon, bring your family and your friends, and spread the word. You don't want to miss this sale. Due to the extreme discounts, all sales are final. Check out our website, hartsgreenhouse.com, for all the details. Harts is open 7 days a week, 9 to 5, Monday to Saturday, and 9 to 4 on Sundays in August. Stop by one of our stores today. Route 6 in Brooklyn, Clinton Avenue in Norwich, and Route 2A in Preston.
Welcome back. Hello, welcome back. Nice and slow title, nice and slow entry. Here we are, 120 Radio, WICH 1310. This is the chamber chatter that we have each week with our friend Angela Adams. Angela, welcome back here to the show. What's going on with you? And we'll get into Jennifer, but just want to welcome you officially.
Thank you. Well, we're here to talk about all the things that are going on in the community as well as the National Health Center Week. So we're going to definitely talk about that. But I know I came in a little late, so
you were late. Yeah, that's it.
No worries at all. It's just something that, last week we had Aaron Hagan from the North Youth and Family Services on there, and we talked about all the different ways that we collaborate with that. And then it was a great intro to invite Jennifer on here as well. So I think this is a welcome. And I'm happy to have you here. And you guys are talking about all the services that you offer. And off the air, we started talking about also the nighttime. So tell us about the Nightlight Pediatrics that you have as well.
Yeah, so about 18 months ago, and really in response to community need, we opened what's called Nightlight Pediatric Clinic at our Norwich Health Center at 47 Town Street. Pediatric offices close at 5 o'clock. Our own practice was closed by 7 o'clock. And we were seeing our own patients, and we were hearing from other pediatricians in the community that their kids were headed to urgent care and the emergency department, which is not the place to go. And so we, in response to that need, opened Nightlight Pediatric Clinic, which you can walk in up till 9 o'clock at night. You do not have to be a patient of UCFS. So we are seeing kids up to the age of 18. When you come to Nightlight Pediatric Clinic, you're going to see a pediatrician. When you go to an urgent care or an emergency department, you are not necessarily going to see a pediatrician. So we're providing really focused, specific care, which is what you'd want for your kid if they're sick. And we are available Monday through Friday until 9 o'clock at night.
So that's just started. You started
about 18 months ago.
Okay.
So we've been, building since then. Always trying to get the word out, because the other benefit of, in addition to seeing a pediatrician when your kid is sick or it needs a pediatrician, we also are a much lower cost provider. Urgent care is a lot more expensive. Emergency department is a lot more expensive. This is a regular office visit charge or office visit copay. And at UCFS, if you are eligible, we offer a sliding fee discount program that's based on income and family size. So we're going to be looking at what you can afford. We never reject any patient based on their inability to pay for services. So it's a great option for our community. Once again, what does the community need, and how can we step up within our lane and provide that.
That's amazing. So, Angela, bringing up, knowing the community, there's got to be a major need. A lot of our workforce is working different shifts these days and different hours, and being able to get to there get to those services has to be an amazing comfort. So, do you guys see that growing, maybe expanding into some different areas, or is it right now just?
Yeah, well, we've been keeping it for kids. We have been thinking about opening it up for adults or maybe young adults up to 26.
Awesome.
So it's really a matter of staffing and trying to figure out what the needs in the community.
So you're always thinking out of the box. You're always trying to think of probably just trying to do more with less, right? Because that's the reality of the world we live in.
Yeah.
And so you continue to grow the services and all that. And so has your population or your amount of people you serve grown every year? Is it typical, or does it stay flatlined, or
Since we were on a trajectory of growth, and then, like many businesses and practices, COVID hit. So when COVID hit, we had to close our dental department. So we had to switch a lot of visits to virtual, to telehealth. So there was a time when then, our user base dropped off, the numbers dropped off, but we've been steadily growing since that time. And as I mentioned, we're back up to almost, maybe like 500 patients of where we were before COVID. So the need is definitely out there. And in terms, the place where we have had a lot of growth is the types of facilities that we're providing services in. So our school-based health center program is something that's grown quite a bit over the years. So we are now operating in 10 different schools here in Norwich, as well as in Montville and in Waterford, Connecticut. So again, convenience for parents and families. Your child's sick, they need a physical, they need a sports physical, they need behavioral health counseling. All of that can happen within the context of the school day without you having to leave work, without the kid having to be pulled out of class. And it's very seamless, and the families love it. So that's another thing that we've really worked hard on, is not just how you can come to our fixed clinic locations, but where can we bring services out into the community to make it easier for families.
That's so smart. And so that's just the community connection. Angela, when you were thinking about having Jen come on, and you must have some thoughts about sharing this amazing story to the community here on Wednesday Radio.
Yeah, that's why I invited her on here, because even just mentioning what you just said about the school base, that was on my notes as well. As a coach, you always have to worry about all the right paperwork that's there, and you're in the schools now to help that out. So that's
Absolutely.
a huge help for all of us. You're in the community a lot. We've worked with you over the years on many, many, many different, even during the pandemic. We were
Right.
back as actually at Dodd
Stadium.
and we did a lot of those type of off-site mobile van units and such, and you're always there. One of the things that the Healthy Living Festival. We talked about that in the Healthy Living Festival last week, and when we had a couple weeks ago, actually, with the Healthy Living, right?
Yep.
And it's, again, getting all these partners in the room. And one of the things that I was very proud of at our Healthy Living Festival was the fact that somebody came over and they were doing some healthcare screenings, and then there was some significant findings, and we were able to walk them over to your booth and then connect them with the right things that they need.
Yeah, exactly. So we have a great community outreach team. So our community health workers and outreach workers are out at events like Angela just mentioned. Laptops connected to the Wi-Fi, able to make you an appointment right from the event after we can speak with you and find out your needs. So yeah, the point is to try to connect people as soon as possible when the need's identified, because if that family goes home, the chances of them coming back and actually being able to follow through, gets lost in the chaos of everybody's day, right?
Sure.
So we're trying to make it as streamlined as possible.
Your dental services are back.
Oh, yes.
So that was just temporary.
COVID time.
Yeah, that was just temporarily during COVID. We were just sort of, I don't even like to relive that, but we do what's needed in the community when it's needed. And when we had a pandemic, we were front and center then as well. So, but now we're back to providing more standard services that we've always provided. We have the tools that we gained during COVID, like telehealth,
Yes.
those kinds of things, which we didn't have before, again. And we are have gotten a lot more connected to the school systems. And we've always been, and Norwich and Southeastern Connecticut in general has always been a very we're a place where community organizations and community agencies partner together so well and so seamlessly. We don't replicate services. We respect and refer and make sure that the community is getting what they need, and whoever is the best place for that person to go and that family to go, that's what we're going to do.
150 years?
150
I'm sorry, I think that's
years.
what you said. 150 years.
50 years next year.
Wow, that's amazing.
Look forward to celebrating that.
What was the history of the family? I know I've heard it before, but if you could share a little bit of like what was the goal here with establishing this health center?
Well, there were two ministers' wives who were walking on the Norwich Town Green, and they were dreaming of a agency to relieve all forms of suffering. That was their goal. It was happening. There were a lot of factories and factory workers in the community. They saw a lot of despondent families, a lot of families suffering as a result of poverty, alcohol abuse, those kinds of things. It was during a temperance movement. And they established United Workers. And United Workers is the foundational nonprofit. In 1877, that has evolved over the years. We've changed names. We've merged with other organizations to become UCFS Health.
I never knew that part of the story. To be honest, I should have. I'm sure it was talked about, but that's amazing because really the root of it was the workforce, obviously the industrial age. Everyone's working in factories in London County, Thermos, whatever, and so they got this inspiration. That's amazing. That's giving back to the community. I guess that was the theme from the beginning.
It's been the theme. It's been a consistent theme throughout the whole 150 years of our existence. And programs have come and gone. Needs have changed.
Are you one of the longest in the country? You got to be up there.
We must be up there.
I'd say they are.
Yeah.
You got to get curious.
We're the first hospital before Bacchus Hospital even opened.
You had a hospital established here in the city?
Well, we were a place where women and children who were convalescing could come after if they were ill and they were unable to take care of themselves at home. And that was Sheltering Arms. That's our elder care facility now, but that was the original focus of Sheltering Arms. And now to this day, it retains a mission of caring for the elderly. It's a 30-bed residential care home for the elderly, and then we have co-located on that property over on 165 McKinley, an adult day center, the Ross Adult Day Center, that provides great respite care for families who have family members who need looking after during the day, so that they can either go to work or do other things that they need to in their lives, or sometimes it's really just great for socialization for individuals so that they're not sitting at home. So the Ross Adult Day Center is a tremendous program that operates Monday through Friday.
Awesome.
I can attest with that because my sister's mother-in-law went there for a while.
Right. Yeah.
Do a great job.
It's great.
Amazing. And the services, some people probably don't know about it, getting it out there. And so, Angela, when you have these kind of amazing partners that you work directly with, you're always trying to connect people. What are you guys doing to make sure everyone they're helping with, right? To get the word out into the community? What can people do to help you with that?
Well, I mean, one of the things that I brought around here too is explain a little bit about National Health Center Week. And there's a couple of programs that you're doing that I'm helping to promote as well. So tell us a little bit about what is National Health Center Week, and then we have there's two events that are also coming up this week.
That's right. So National Health Center Week is an annual observance in the United States it recognizes the work that community health centers like UCFS do and the role that they play in the healthcare system. There are about 1,600 community health centers across the country in every state doing similar work to what we do. Every community health center looks a little different, but they're everywhere. And it's typically celebrated during the second full week of August every year. The week is both intended for public awareness, so that's great why we're talking about it now on the radio. And it's also a celebration of the impact that community health centers have on the communities that are specifically underserved, rural, providing affordable, accessible care. It's all of the services that we've just described. So it's a real celebration of the work that we do and an opportunity for us to brag about what we do and share it with everybody. Health centers are really a key part of the U.S. safety net, and they offer primary care, dental, mental health support, and preventive health services, as I mentioned, regardless of a person's ability to pay. So this year's theme for our National Health Center Week is building innovative care where it matters most. So in order to do that, UCFS, as I mentioned, has locations in Norwich, Colchester, Griswold, in London, Plainfield, and then in about 10 schools throughout the region as well. And I mentioned our elder care services as well. So lots of things that we're doing. How are we going to celebrate? So what's going on in Norwich and at our locations? On Monday, we're going to do something called Books, Blankets, and a Beautiful Lawn. It's going to happen from 5:30 to 7 on the lawn of our general administration building, which is at 34 East Town Street. That's the big yellow house, if people who know it. We're partnering with Otis Library for this event, and it's intended to be a relaxing, screen-free evening where folks can just read on a beautiful lawn and connect. We saw this concept performed at a much larger scale, in New York City, and we thought we'd love to bring it on a smaller scale to the beautiful grounds of our GA building. So the concept is at a time when loneliness is really increasingly common, this is an opportunity to enjoy the simple comfort of being together with no phones, and shared space and fresh air. So we're looking forward to that.
There's more to that. And, for those that are watching, I do have to sneak the 1 minute almost to the break here because we want to hear more about that. This week is going to be jam-packed with some other things.
That's right.
So let's come back after this break. Angela, Jen, myself, and Tyler, it's back on TV Radio right here, WIC.
If your business isn't getting noticed, Procop Sign Company can change that. Family owned since 1964, Procop has over 60 years of experience helping local businesses stand out. From eye-catching signs and banners to trade show displays and brand intents, they do it all. Want advertising that never stops? Their custom vehicle lettering and wraps turn your ride into a mobile billboard. Plus, Procop offers promotional products and printed materials like business cards, brochures, and more to keep your brand looking sharp. Check them out at ProcopSigns.com.
There's a family-owned Mahindra tractor dealership near you, and they're ready to help you take on whatever your land has in store. Because every Mahindra is built to outwork and outlast the other guys. With a powerful engine, heavy steel build, and easy-to-use controls. And with Mahindra's red-hot spring savings, the time to put one to work on your land is now.
Dubay Tractors and Dealers and those are Mahindra Tractor headquarters. Models are in stock and ready for immediate delivery. And ask about our optional implements, such as Mahindra's power forks and rays. Get down to Dubay's Tractor or visit Dubay'sTractor.com. Such as Mahindra's pallet forks and rakes. Get down to Dubay's Tractor or visit Dubay'sTractor.com. All right, here we are. Welcome back. Here we are. This is Kevin Allen on the One Table Radio Show. And we have our guests. Of course, Angela Adams comes in with Chamber Chatter each week. The Chamber Chatter brings in all kinds of topics. It's not just, the business connections. It's business that services community connection. And I love that part about what I know Angela is in tune with. And Jennifer, I got to tell you, I'm excited. You're so excited about your job. First of all, I can tell.
Very much so.
You have a smile on your face when you talk about it, and that's refreshing. 11 years later, after you've taken the reins. When you talk about all these services, we probably got to go back into that. I think these events that are going forward next week. You must have a lot of people come up to you all the time and be like, "Thank you," and appreciate that, because there's not a lot of. You don't see I'm not trying to be critical, but you don't see the same interaction sort of with the normalized healthcare, right? So,
yeah. So I think that our connection to the community and to our patients and clients is very special, and maybe a little bit closer than a hospital would be.
No disrespect.
Just by virtue, I need a hospital. I want I want them to do a good job.
Right.
So we all play our role. That's really, we talked about that. I mentioned, I think off air, we had a federal review. They come by, we get federal money. They want to make sure you're doing a good job. And we had a patient stop our reviewers in the hallway last week and just say what an amazing place this was, that she'd received all of her services here for years. She wouldn't go anywhere else. And what an amazing job that we did. And she just wanted to be known because she could tell we were having that's a review. So, things like that, unsolicited. She said, "I promise I'm not a plant in the crowd." And so yeah, we definitely hear a lot of positive feedback from people who wouldn't have healthcare if it weren't for us being in the community.
100%. 100%. Did you have some other community things? I think we were going to touch on some of those other things. You want to?
So we have a few more events. In addition to the books, blankets, and a beautiful lawn, which we hope you'll come to. Again, that's Monday, August 3rd. From 5:30 to 7 at 34 East Town Street. As I mentioned, don't bring your phones, but bring a book, a blanket, and a relaxing attitude and vibe. We are going to have a community blood drive also at our Norwich Health Center at 47 Town Street. That's on Wednesday, August 5th. We are going to have a event that we're calling our backpacks, books, brochures, and banking. So on Thursday, August 6th, this event, we used to have it at our Norwich Health Center. It's grown so big that we've actually moved it to Three Rivers Community College. We're having it there again on Thursday, August 6th. That will be from 3:30 to 5:30. Tons and tons of events thanks to our partners at Core Plus Credit Union. They donate backpacks and school supplies. Last year, we gave out 400 backpacks to kids as they're prepping for school. And we also want to thank Norwich Public Utilities, who donated funds to help us purchase free books that we're also going to give out. So come and check out that event if you're in the area, family. Again, 3:30 to 5:30 on August 6th at Three Rivers Community College. That event is going to have touch a fire truck, vendor tables. We're going to have Connecticut's first certified water dog. His name is Bay.
Okay.
So I think it's a he. It might be a she. Sorry. And while supplies last, you'll be able to receive a book called Bay the Connecticut Water Dog.
It's cool.
Training, safety, and much more. So there's a lot of stuff for kids and families, a lot of activities at that event. And then finally, on the 7th, we're partnering with the Greater Norwich Area Chamber of Commerce to have a business before breakfast. And that's going to be at our Edward and Mary Lord Health Center again in Norwich on 47 Town Street. That's bright and early, 8 to 9 in the morning. We'll serve you a great breakfast and have a few people to present and talk to you again about the work that UCFS does and really culminate and cap off the celebration of community health centers, what they do nationwide, and what we do specifically in our community.
Amazing stuff. So, Angela, when you're out and about and all that stuff, and you talk and you brag about the great community you're from, UCFS has been one of your partners, I'm sure, on many of the events. So, Do you hear a lot from the community about the health centers and the services and comments? I mean, you heard the comment that was offered by one of the patients. So I know I do. And I witness it there. So it's a high five. We are both. Yep. We are both patients there. So yeah.
Yeah, no, we have tons of calls. We have tons of calls with people trying to figure out where they can go. So, I mean, this is one way that we can share the resource that all the resources that they have that we can share to their community and such. So, like I said, when she's talking about all the partners in the community, and this has been a theme, right? The last 6 weeks that we've been on this, we talk about the theme and all the partnerships and the many things that are going on in our community that we need all our partners, but we have to provide these resources at the community events. We want to have everybody to have fun. We want to, like the National Night Out that I'll talk about in a little bit, but, all these resources should be there available to our community as they're going out and having fun and doing the face painting and the touch a truck and, what is it, Lucy the Tooth?
Lucy the Loose Tooth sometimes makes an appearance.
I love that. So, you got to add the fun things. The same thing with the Healthy Living Family Fund. It started out, I don't even remember how many years, 10 years ago or whatever it was. And, you talked about how you're outgrowing space, and that's a good problem to have, right? When you're outgrowing your space. In Dodd Stadium, we've actually outgrown this year for the expos that we have for the students to come in for our student expos, because we had 165 students last year. We tried to do all the different breakout rooms and the CPR trainings and all that, but we're going to be partnering with them next year over at Three Rivers in order so they can see the labs and such, because healthcare, we're trying to get these students, you're saying staffing, right? So we have to kind of showcase the many resources that are out there and the many different paths to healthcare. So that's why we partner with them, and we have the healthcare expos that we do for the students, because they're getting in the pipeline programs now that are in all the schools.
Right.
We want them to graduate. We want them to go there, whether it's behavioral health, whether it's mental health, whether it's women's services, pediatrics, and geriatrics.
Yeah, we want to be part of the employer base. We are a big employer at UCFS, so we have 385 employees who work at UCFS.
Great point.
And you may want to pursue a clinical career as a clinician in behavioral health or medical practitioner or dental practitioner, but we also are an agency. We have an IT department. We have a human resources department. We have administrators, billing and finance. So there are tons of opportunities for careers at a community health center or any health organization. So that's a really great thing to point out. And that's why, as part of the chamber, we're able to not just talk about the services we provide, but what we can provide the community as an employer of community members.
You're about employer, and then, Angela, with your involvement and connection, both of you in this community, small businesses, and I imagine small businesses, it's hard to afford insurance today in general. And small businesses, that's a break point for some people.
Yes.
Did you ever work directly with business? I mean, maybe this may sound a little, weird. I just went thinking there's a whole network of small businesses who probably could love this kind of.
Correct. So there are small businesses, and we can work with them to either provide information about the services that we offer, help them find, if once they're getting, if it's a small business, for example, they might have people enrolling in the Affordable Care Act coverage. Mm-hmm. Well, then where can they go? Mm-hmm. Or people who may not have insurance, and where can they go? Mm-hmm. So not every employer is able to offer insurance. And if people wind up having to purchase it on the marketplace, sometimes they can't afford it. Right. So offering that option to individuals in our community is really important. People who are who are enrolled in Medicaid often work. Mm-hmm. So we are a provider for Medicaid enrolled individuals. A lot of providers don't accept all insurances, including Medicaid insurance. So,
the insurance word is just a word for another topic, because it's just good. We got a sunny day today. We don't want to taint it by talking about insurance, because it does get.
No, we don't. But so
it's a real deal.
It's a real issue. Yeah. But the fact is that if you come to UCFS, we have a system that's designed to accommodate and care for you and provide you with access to what you need, regardless of your insurance status.
As a way to fit into your system.
Absolutely, everyone we see people regardless of their insurance status. So that's the beauty of the model of care that we provide.
Good stuff.
I also like the one-stop shop.
Because you have the pharmacy that's right on, that's huge, right in your building.
Pharmacy's right there, the lab's right there.
Next door.
GYN services, again, pediatrics to geriatrics, dental, behavioral health, psychiatry. So if you need medications, everything is right there in one location.
You said eye care is where is there?
Don't provide eye care yet. So vision services is something
That's something been talked about at some point, desired maybe?
internally, it's definitely something that's on our wish list of things to develop.
Okay.
But nothing yet. So no announcements yet.
Yeah, no, I did, because you did mention earlier too, dental, right?
We do provide dental services in our Norwich location. We have 12 dental operatories. We have three and a half dentists and 3 dental hygienists. We take walk-ins for dental services as well, because I know sometimes in chatting with our friends over at Bacchus Hospital, dental emergencies are on the rise of what they're seeing in the emergency department.
Right.
So we're trying to provide this.
Dental, right? And this is, I'd love to have, we gotta get a dentist on too, by the way. Because, the mouth is such an indicator of mental health.
Yes.
And physical, and you see in the world we live in, some of the things unfortunately we see with a lot of homelessness and depression and all these mental health issues. I have to imagine the mouth will tell you a lot of, helpers help you understand what you're dealing with.
It is, and it's often something that's ignored until something awful, until you're in terrible pain, basically, is how it works.
Yeah.
So people ignore their oral health. They don't get a cleaning. They don't go to the dentist until such time as they really need it. And then, unfortunately, they wind up in an emergency department with an abscess or something serious. So we definitely want to treat the mouth as part of the body. And so that's our philosophy.
It is, the mouth is part of the body. Yeah. What's going on over there on the phone? What do you got? We have Joe on the phone from the Red Cross who wanted to mention the blood drives going on because we are in the middle of a national blood crisis. Yeah, Joe, thank you for that. Is Joe coming on, or is he there? Joe? Yeah. Joe, how are you? Welcome to the One Table Radio Show, Joe.
Hey, good afternoon. Hey, we need our friends in the community to come out and help. As your colleague just mentioned, we are in a national blood crisis, severe blood shortage right now. And what we're doing at the Red Cross is we're putting on 3 drives this weekend, on today, tomorrow, Sunday, and Monday, because we just don't have enough blood. Right now, we have such a shortage that there's a 1-day supply of blood in our stores. We haven't been looking for many years.
So is this, Joe, is this typical this time of year? Is it, and Angela, we're talking, Angela doesn't have a headset on, we're talking to Joe from the Red Cross.
Yes.
And there's a shortage in a sense. There's only about 1 day supply, he informed us, left right now. And that's scary, right? That's some scary stuff.
It's very scary, and I'm going to tell you, in the summer it usually drops, and we usually go on what they call it a PO, we ask people to double down and come out, and usually they come fill up. Because and again, we've seen it in the news about how many accidents are on 395, I-95, the local roads. We have a lot more people getting operations. We have lots of new births for mothers, and especially cancer patients. So I was just looking at the latest from the Red Cross, because I'm a retired guy who works with the Red Cross and love it. But it says, as a nation, the largest single provider of blood products, the Red Cross now has less than a 1-day supply of type O positive blood.
Wow.
So this is extremely unusual. We haven't seen this in 4 or 5 years happen. So we're just telling people to either make an appointment at redcrossblood.org or come right over to the Norwich Donor Center on Salem Turnpike, 45 Salem Turnpike in Norwich. We've got just walk on in. We'll take you. We just need blood for our hospitals.
That's amazing, Joe. I want you to reach out to Tyler again, if you would, and connect with him. Give me your number. I want you to come on the show, okay? Thank you for the update on the Red Cross. And Angela, amazing, right? So that's great that we have that, connection with the community. And hearing that, guys, is scary news. If there's 1 day supply on the shelves, and it's O positive, you said? Yeah, that's good. I mean, so not to scare anybody out there, but that's from the horse's mouth in a sense, people in the business. So.
Yeah, and so just to remind, and thank you, Joe, for bringing that up again. So
All of the events that I've mentioned, including I mentioned on August 5th, we are doing a community blood drive at UCFS in our Norwich Health Center at 47 Town Street. Every event, including that blood drive, is there's information about it and how you can make an appointment to come and donate blood at ucfshealthcare.org.
Okay.
So that event and all of the other events, or obviously go to
Find all the information on
all
it,
of
right?
the information on each event is there.
Yeah, I just wanted to also.
Angel, by the way.
I know. I didn't know if anybody could see me way back in the corner.
I can see you.
We've been working with the Red Cross as well, the Norwich location as well, to try to connect some of our businesses to run a blood drive there, because we ran a blood drive a couple months ago at Three Rivers.
Okay.
And we had around 80, I think, so pints of blood that was donated that day. But it is hard for them to get their staffing out to go and run these blood drives. So working with the Vegan Sun as well to try to plan another fall one on that. But what you and your business can do is actually run a blood drive at the location in Norwich, and that's probably what Joe, I'm not sure what he was talking about.
Do they do outside blood drives?
They can't, well, no, it has to be a certain specific thing, but they have a walk-in blood drive that's near the old Staples Plaza. It's right in that, I believe. And I believe that's the location. And so a business can run in there. So they want to sponsor one.
Right.
So we're running one.
You can run one down there. You don't have to do it if you don't have a location at your site, but you can go down there and run one as well with them. And they do all the work on there, but you can just greet people, let people know that you're having it. It's just an extra reach as well. So you can contact the chamber too to help to set that up.
Scary update, and I just wonder, what's causing that, logjam. Yeah, it's what? 2 minutes ago. We got 2 minutes to go from Tyler. I like you becoming assertive, Tyler. I like that about you. So when we go to the break here, we'll come back, and then we'll probably wrap up with you, Andrew and Jen. Just updating the listeners here. One Table Radio will be on each and every Friday, 12 to 2, and Angela comes in typically with a different community sort of, partner. And this is a really good one because this directly affects everybody across the board. There's people out there that might think economically they don't need to consider UCFS. I'm just not going to brag. I'm going to tell you I have a state retirement insurance, and I don't need to go, I can go anywhere I want. Right? I have the Cadillac. I'm not bragging about it. It's fact. I love what I've been doing for the last 10 years, so I continue to be a patient there. Angela's a patient, so you couldn't make it up. We're both here, Justin, How that federal guy here listen to us. We're two great patients, too. We'll be back in a minute. One Table Radio.
I don't know if that's.
.1310 WICH Norwich and 94.5 W233DB Norwich. WICH Norwich.
News this hour at Town Hall. I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. President Trump speaking to reporters at Camp David today said his policies have helped make life-saving drugs more affordable for Americans.
So we now have the lowest drug prices anywhere in the world. We're tied with the lowest, but we're basically its favorite nation. So we have the lowest drug prices anywhere in the world from the highest drug prices anywhere in the world. Now, what that does for your health care, you're going to see these fake polls where the Democrats have wonderful numbers on this stuff, and they are horrible what they've done. Obamacare is a total disaster. It's a costly wreck. It's unaffordable. We call it the Unaffordable Care Act. It's a disgrace. They never even thought of being able to do something like this. They didn't even try.
Former Deputy National Security Advisor to the President, K.T. McFarland, says one unseen weapon the U.S. has in its war with Iran is the ability to hurt that country's economy.
And then if you look at the economic part of it, ceasefire, no ceasefire, the blockade is continued. No oil is getting out of Iran, no ships of any sort in or out of Iran. No oil from Iran is getting out. Maybe Iran has some overland routes where it's trading, but by and large, it's now an anaconda strategy.
Amazon and tech stocks giving the markets a boost on Wall Street.
I'm Damien Troisi, and this is Markets in a Minute. Stocks rose in morning trading on Wall Street Friday. The S&P 500 rose 0.6%. The index is heading for its first winning week in the last three. The Dow rose 216 points, or 0.4%. The Nasdaq Composite jumped 1.2%. Amazon led the market after reporting much stronger profit for its latest quarter than analysts expected. It surged 14% in morning trading. Stocks of computer chip makers also rose and helped push broader gains in the market. The stock market's gains came even though oil prices continued to rise and worries about inflation weigh on the bond market. Damian Troisi, New York.
More of these stories at Town Hall.
Full speed into summer, and if you're thinking about buying a home this year, here's what you need to do first. Get pre-qualified. Not once you found the house, now before you even start looking. Here's why. In this market, houses sell in days, sometimes hours. The buyers who win aren't the ones with the highest offer. They're the ones already approved, ready to move, with a lender who can actually close. If you're not pre-qualified, you're a week behind. Maybe that house is gone. Well, I want to tell you about Fellowship Home Loans. For over 20 years, my friends Mike and Brian, guys that I've worked with, they've built Fellowship around one thing, getting loans done for real families with unique situations. They use programs and options that typical lenders don't take the time to explore. Down payment solutions that fit the way people actually live. Everything's done in-house. One roof, one team, all with a servant-led mentality. Get pre-qualified today. Go to fellowshiphomeloans.com/MikeG or call 800-510-MIKE. Fellowship Home Loans, mortgage lending by the book.
Nationwide Mortgage Makers, DBA Fellowship Home Loans, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 819382.
Mortgage lending by the book.
A SpaceX rocket is on a collision course with the moon.
Space tracking experts say that on Wednesday, a drifting SpaceX rocket unintentionally will slam into the moon after launching 2 lunar landers more than a year ago. Space tracking expert Bill Gray says impact could be near Einstein Crater on the moon's summit western limb at 7 times the speed of sound. But scientists aren't too concerned about the piece of space junk as more and more items cram into orbit. The space crash is expected to happen in the wee hours Wednesday, and eastern parts of the U.S. and Canada, as well as much of South America, are expected to get the best views. I'm Donna Water.
Anthropic says AI models hacked into 3 organizations during testing. It comes days after OpenAI said its AI models went rogue and hacked into another company. Anthropic says on its website it discovered the incidents after reviewing a number of evaluation runs. Breaking news at Town Hall. Changes are being made in Scouting America.
At the National Jamboree, one of Scouting's biggest events, dedicated spaces for gay young people, women, and scouts of color have been eliminated. Some scouts who had planned to attend in West Virginia backed out. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth threatened to end the Pentagon's century-old partnership with Scouting America if it did not make changes, including refocusing away from diversity initiatives. A Scouting America spokesperson said the organization remains fully committed to welcoming and serving all youth, but did not address questions about the changes to the Jamboree. I'm Ed Donahue.
A set of stolen Civil War-era cannonballs turned up in a passenger suitcase during a routine security screening at an Alabama airport. The Federal Transportation Security Administration said the relics were discovered at Gulf Shores International Airport earlier this month. More of these stories at townhall.com.
The boss, he's in charge right there. One take the radio is nothing without Tyler. That's that. I know that. Welcome back. This is Kevin Allen right here, One Table Radio on WICH 1310. This is, again, you're just talking about one of the famous fellows from the city of Norwich in the radio, and that's, of course, Steve Breyer. 45 years, and since you're in a very historic location, he's been doing news 45 years. Think about it. That's incredible, right? And he still spins records, I've been told. So we're going to come in here and watch that. Angela, we're gonna stay around, you and I, after we finish up this interview with Jennifer, and but to give you some time here to wrap up. I'm sure people are interested now. Where can they go to find you? Information. Maybe they're inquiring about one of the services. Why don't you let them know?
Absolutely. So the easiest place, if you are online, is to go to our website at ucfshealthcare.org. And there you'll find news, events, all of our sites, locations, all of our services, everything you need to know about us. If you are wanting to write down a phone number and do it the old-fashioned way, please feel free to call us at 860-892-7042. And somebody will direct you to whatever service or whatever you need. The other thing is, keep an eye out for our tables because our community outreach staff are all over the place at events, and especially now it's summer, the weather's nice. Lots of outdoor events. So we're going to be at a lot of the chamber events. We're going to be at the National Night Out. Yep. Is that correct? Yep. So we'll be all over the place. If you see a table with UCFS, our teal-colored heart, please stop over, say hi, and got a lot of information that we can share with you face-to-face too. So
thank you so much for coming on. And of course, just amazing to see how everything has continued to grow. 150th year coming up, so let us help you in any way we can to help promote that.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for that offer. It's been a pleasure to talk to you, and nice to see you again after all these years. And nice to see you.
Angela's the boss. She's the boss in charge. She's the boss. So this entire platform show was designed around her, and she held out for a big contract, and then they signed me. And she's like, now I want it back. I want to get the lead role again.
That's so true. It's the same reason we used over there because we want to run the. This is true. Tyler, that's true.
Okay, I'm just joking here. Come on, guys.
And thanks, Tyler, for keeping us all on track.
Tyler, amazing story. So thank you. And guys, listen, if you're inquiring, if you're wondering rather, and you want to inquire, and you have the information, we'll make sure we post it up on our social media as well, so we have more information. People can watch or take those and click on the number, or do the old-fashioned dial the rotary phone, like you said, to give you a call today. So thank you, Jennifer, for coming in. We'll go to a break here, and what time is it?
It's 1:08.
1:08. Why don't you go do the read on that then, and we'll come back after that. All right. And do the bumper and all that other whatever. I don't know what a bumper is. Thanks, Jennifer.
Thank you. Thank you.
Is that flipped?
Hello, this is Tyler from One Table Radio. We are 1310 AM, 94.5 FM, coming to you Fridays 12 to 2, every single Friday. This weekend, we are having the national blood crisis. We are in a severe blood shortage. We are less than a day supply of O positive blood. We are having blood drives all weekend, the 30th, the 1st, and the 2nd. They will be at the Norwich Donor Center, 45 Salem Turnpike. This weekend, walk-ins are welcome. We need help to collect blood for use during Connecticut's many emergencies. Please feel free to show up or make an appointment online. Walk-ins are more than welcome. And thank you.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. The transition to drier weather continues as the system responsible for all of the recent rain moves offshore. Good riddance. We wrap up the work week brighter with only a chance for isolated showers this afternoon. Now, for the first weekend of August, while it may not be full of sunshine, it appears primarily dry. Also, both Saturday and Sunday will be a bit muggy with seasonable temperatures. Monday is the first alert weather day as another period of wet, potentially stormy weather appears likely. Outdoor plans could be impacted, and given the ground is saturated, we'll be monitoring the threat for flooding on Monday as we end up receiving heavier rain. Thereafter, we're going optimistically dry through the middle of next week. In the First Alert Forecast Center at Channel 3, I'm meteorologist Scott Haney, wishing you all a great, safe, and healthy weekend.
If your business isn't getting noticed, ProCop Sign Company can change that. Family owned since 1964, ProCop has over 60 years of experience helping local businesses stand out. From eye-catching signs and banners to trade show displays and branding tents, they do it all all. Want advertising that never stops? Their custom vehicle lettering and wraps turn your ride into a mobile billboard. Plus, ProCop offers promotional products and printed materials like business cards, brochures, and more to keep your brand looking sharp. Check them out at ProcopSigns.com. Brochures and more to keep your brand looking sharp. Check them out at ProcopSigns.com.
Absolutely. Welcome back to One Table Radio. It is Tyler and Angela here. Kevin has stepped out for a moment. I've been operating the switchboard now for about a month. This is all new to me, and I know it's a scary feat for you guys.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I think you're doing a great job, Tyler. I mean, we keep joking around with you and everything, but you are. That is something that I did not want to do. So, have you ever done this before? Anything like this?
No, not switchboard operating, but I've always been a very tech person. I've always loved technology and knowing how things work, and I think audio, video has kind of had a calling towards me, electronics specifically.
Sure.
But I don't think I'll be able to learn this and do the speaker thing at the same time.
All right, so it is a true fear. And aren't you helping him out in October when they start doing that? What is that about?
Yes, we are doing a speaking series where our goal is to bring Kevin and other people from the community together to speak about different things. The cool thing is the Chestnut Theater is such a small personal theater that I think that once we begin having the speaking series, it'll be clear how open the engagement between both the hosts and the whole audience. You know what I mean? I think it's going to be a very interesting concept.
I think it's going to be great. I love the fact when I brought Joanne in here, how excited she was, right? And then I saw the excitement that Kevin had. Did you put that on me? Is it on you?
It's the story of the hour.
So I love the connections that we're continuing to build, right? That's my job. I'm the collaborator. I just know that there's some incredible people out there, so let's figure out how they can all work together. And I am looking forward to Joanne. I know both of you are both so excited about that. So, there's going to be a lot. It's going to come sooner than we probably will want to. I mean, right now, we're just winding down in the summer, except for my Rock the Docks, and I keep having cancellations on Wednesdays. It's going to go all the way to Christmas. But, it's just one of those things where now I'm getting ready for the next, we'll talk about the chamber and stuff, but I'm getting ready for the fall events coming up too. And I don't have a lot of it. I didn't plan to stay on for the extra half hour, but, just this week alone, we had mentioned, she has the event on the lawn on Monday. Then there's National Night Out on Tuesday, and National Night Out is huge, and we've always worked with the police department and all the different community partners on that, but they have the hot dogs, but all the different resources, again, we talked about, like putting the resources in front to where if you can add the resources that are there for those families in need that they didn't know they were out there, they don't feel like they have to go someplace, or they maybe just don't know where to go. So that's why I'm so passionate about our community events and making sure that we get as many people. I hate recreating. I don't want to recreate, right? So I want to get as many people to one area. So the very first thing is, when's your National Night Out? And who do you need there? And I've been making sure that I'm trying to promote it out there and trying to get people invested in that as well. So that's on Tuesday.
The amount of events they take on, it's gone, and for you to be able to juggle that through that mind of yours is pretty. Are you a squirrel? Because you're definitely a squirrel. So and it's what I want to just comment is the integration of the services and the community providers, and then the businesses. You're kind of that conduit between all of that, and that's a pretty interesting role. I don't think, not that I know so much, but I don't think a lot of chambers, they might stay focused more business related. But I think in this area it's so intertwined, and you do an amazing job with it. So.
Sure, and and I do work really closely with the businesses as well, but they're trying to figure out like how do they get their word out, so, at these, we do talk about a lot of the nonprofit businesses that are at the community events, but it also is about the banks are very involved in it. There's, the local businesses and they have retail and such, they're out there as well. And then, then they can come up to me. I can't go to all these community events personally and set up a table, but I make sure that we have a lot of the people know about it. So that's what my role plays. I try to go to some of these, but I also have my life, and we're a strong team of three. There's Anna, Amber, and I, and then I report back to our board. Pam Kinder, who's actually she works at UCFS. She's actually on our board as well, and she was our chair. So that's where we also create these connections. Today, I have Anna. Besides setting up for the Walk the Dogs this morning, Anna and I were up there setting up, and now she's visiting one of her members. So she's visiting Gina over at Norwich Fitness. And for a couple different reasons. So one is Anna, because I wanted to meet our members. Two, she's going to do some photos and some videos over there, and I'm going to share what Norwich Fitness has. They have their pickleball court that you may or may not know about, but it's huge, and it's something that is our community invests in and goes there. And then we were at Preston Ridge Vineyard last week, and Preston has a lot going on.
Were you there for the big concert they had? They had a famous band there.
Recently?
Yeah, somebody was just telling me about it. I forget who it was. I was out and about over the weekend.
Yeah.
And I can't even remember the band, but when they said it, I'm like, really? And they were like, yeah, it was like $50 a ticket. And I didn't know Preston was doing these kind of amazing events.
They do yoga, and I'm going to have them on here. So I've been trying to get maybe not Preston Ridge Vineyard, but I've been trying to get Sandra, the first selectman, to come in, because they have actually on my fancy notes that are right here. They have their carnival that's coming up on August 6th, 7th, and 8th. So I'm actually going to try to get her on next week.
Do you know the location?
At the field there, the Preston
School.
No, the actual.
Oh, the big open field.
Yeah, the big
gotcha.
open field.
Okay, gotcha. Yep.
And because they have a really cute that I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. They have an actually cute little stage. That is just a rock wall and another grassy area, but they have the stage. But the carnival is 3 days, and then you have fireworks there, and with Preston Ridge being there as well. So go backwards, because that's where the squirrel comes in, right? The ADHD is Preston has yoga, once a month, I believe it is. They have concerts, they have food trucks, they have acoustic acts, they have, which I want to get the papers, to do a little story on, because we have disc golf in the area, right? And they have a disc golf course there now, which blew my mind, because I didn't know that. That was something that, and it's fairly new.
This is where the baseball park and all that you're talking about downstairs.
No, at Preston Ridge Vineyard.
Oh, they have all.
They actually have, they're doing the yoga, they're doing the food trucks, they're doing this. Huge. And when I found out they had the disc golf, I was floored on that, because we have one there. We have one in Voluntown. And there's one, obviously, in Mohegan Park. So those are just three off the top of my head that I know about. But I'd love to be able to kind of, do something for the greater Norwich area. I have a lot of plans with what I want to do, but I want to do something with the disc golf and the outdoor walking trail.
Look like.
Oh my goodness, it's all over
your mind right now. Let's say, guys, some little music right now. Let's tiptoe into Andrew's mind.
Wasn't that like a Da Vinci Code, where all of a sudden you see all these pop up?
Yeah.
There's always going to be puppies in there.
Does that happen to you a lot? Do you have a lot of you like? I know for me, being creative, right?
Sure.
Both creative. You just things that, and sometimes you put them on a shelf, you take them back off.
I do.
Do you have a lot of that? 2027 is going to be blowing your mind right now.
It is, because I'm already planning for 2027, and I don't want to say it, because if I don't do it, but I thought about bringing back some events that we've done in the past, like Dragon Boat Racing.
Love that.
Yeah. I don't know if that's going to happen
yet.
COVID, right? Yeah, that was pre-COVID. Well, that was a couple of years. I mean, we had to bring the boat stuff from Canada, but I actually just found another place. So that's on my, hope list or wish list, whatever you want to say. But, a lot of different...
where they have the people fly and they land in the water? Have you do that?
Yeah.
I mean, it's the city, they come down one of those hills right there, they fly up, they land.
Yeah,
I don't know where that is, but it's fun.
We do that. That'd be interesting. There's 2027. With the we talked about Howard Brown Park. We're going to have Kevin Brown on here sometime.
Yep.
Kevin,
this week.
Yeah, well, I'm going to get him out here. But, you know, Sandra, I wanted to get the Preston out here first and try to, because the Howard Brown Park is you know, something that is coming, and they're going to be doing some work this fall. And I want to find out what their timeline is as well. And I'm very interested to find out exactly when they're starting. But there's a lot of things that so many people don't know about that is very hard. So when you're talking about that vision board, you know, I want to help to support the small businesses. So I have, eventually I'm going to get out there and I'm going to do my own little like one-to-one with a lot of my members and start to do these videos. But you know, when you only have 3 people in the office and you have everything is relies on volunteers, and if anybody ever wants to volunteer to help with the chamber, please give me a call. But we're always looking for volunteers, and then of course we're always looking for sponsors to help with a lot of this stuff because it takes a lot of work. The Rock the Docks, you know, 12 concerts, 6 weeks. I can't even think about what Jason did for the Rose Arts, having all those bands in a full day for the weekend. You know, and that's what he does every day over at Strange Brew. He has music 6 days. They have a trivia night, and then they have their karaoke night, and the rest of it is like all these bands. And what's fun about what he does is that he pulls different singers from different bands, and he has like theme nights, or you know, and that's kind of cool because I've literally watched 3 or 4 different band members because you know I like to go to a lot of music and such, and I see them up there, different singers from different bands, and they just get up and they do a jam session, and you know when I do things like that, to me that's just incredible. But again, the small businesses that we have and the talent and the unique things that they have, I can just keep on going on and on about that with like Brick and Basil. Monday night bingo, music bingo.
Yeah.
Which, you know, I play volleyball on Monday, so when I don't, that's something that I've only done a couple times, but so much fun. You know, there's so many different trivia events. There's some new things, new businesses that we're pulling in to speak about, like downtown. We talked about the Tudor Rose bookstore that just opened up not too long ago. Right across the street from them is going to be Mirabeza, Morabeza. It's an international food market that's going down there. Cool. Yep, and then we're going to be doing a ribbon cutting for them. I just met the family, husband and wife, so that's pretty cool. We have, actually, they've been around for a little bit, but Square Peg in Preston.
Okay.
Again, Preston's really starting to come alive, and you're going to see a lot of things with the Preston River Walk and a lot of things coming on in the future. It is, and with Square Peg, you know, it's a cool little restaurant. It's a pizza place, and but it's a chain, and we can talk about chains, but you know, chain as far as that goes, but they're unique. It's right in that little strip mall near Fleming's.
Okay, yeah.
So I was there for a car show. It was right before when I helped the first Friday do the car show in downtown, and I wanted to talk. You know, my car guys were down there, and I just wanted to say hi. And I was actually going to try to get their DJ, DJ Palm, to come and just to my car show. And you know, he has something, so we had another great DJ. But the car show that goes on, I don't know which nights. It's like, I think it's once or twice a month at least they have in the parking lot there. But then I went into the pizza place, and I was like, okay. So I talked to them, and we're going to do some YP, some young professionals events there. Maybe bring a trivia. I know Franco and Jimmy from WCTY and WNSA, they actually do some trivia nights. So I thought it might be kind of cool to see if they can do something. And again, that's connecting, right? It's connecting your members, connecting the community out there.
That's great stuff. Thank you so much. The list doesn't end, does it?
No. I don't sleep, obviously. That's why I look like this. But, you know. No, it's good. You know, when I'm at the Rock the Docks, and you know, there's a lot of things that their families go to the Rock the Docks. So the very first night we had a Rock the Docks, and this is just something that it just reminds me why I do what I do. You know, you need that reminder, right? Why you do what you do, because you're always running around, and I am. And the very first night of the Rock the Docks, there's 2 different people that I run into, and one of them, their son. You know, he's been coming for 8 years to Rock the Docks, and the son had passed away in January from a brain tumor. So I'm talking to the family and the sister, and they didn't know that, you know, and I was like, because I expect them, but they were there, and it broke my heart, but I remembered all the fun and every year that I've seen this family there, and then somebody else had gotten in a horrific car accident, a drunk driver had hit them, And she was in a boot, and I said, "What what's going on?" And she said her daughter had passed away in that.
Oh my gosh!
It was awful in January. But she says to me, I said, of course my heart's breaking at this point, and she says, "No, that was the first time out that she's been out since January, and she was at my event because I made her, feel happy." And she says, "My goal was to get up there on the dance floor before the end of the summer."
Oh, good.
On our dance floor at the Rock the Dot.
Yeah.
So, and then when I see the families, we've gotten up to close to 300 people, if not more. I haven't gone around counting individually like I usually do, but on Friday nights, it is just taking off with the Friday night acoustics. And John Paul Marine, JP Marine, that everybody knows around the area, he started the Rock the Docks.
Yep. John Paul.
Yeah, John Paul. And he was singing, but I have all sorts of different families going down there, and I try to bring out the hula hoops and I challenge some of the kids and bubbles, but it's very simple, but I might, I'm going to have to get more food trucks. I got, and food trucks, weren't as consistent because people would just bring their pizzas down and stuff, but people have their charcuterie and their kids and their families and date night, and some people are just going down there to read and just have the music in the back.
I see a very vibrant downtown beginning to build. And I'm saying it's always been something there, as you and I both know, but I see it differently through the lenses I look through now than I did before. And I see really opportunity, like if you do have a food truck, I actually I could see the city actually doing a food truck alley. Yeah. That's permanent there. I mean, you go down to like New Haven and places like that, and I know there's a lot of brick and mortar places that we don't, but there's a way to intertwine it. And the city of Norwich is a cultural hotbed for flavor. Like you should be bringing in these kind of places. So that's my wish list.
It's a wish list, but they have the food trucks that go down to Hologram Park, and that's where I could see a food truck kind of thing. I mean, if you go downtown, you can literally go to the Roy and Punjabi, and go to Treviso for, like I mentioned before, they have the Taco Tuesdays, and JoJo's just a good Taco Tuesday night too on Laurel Hill, but with Treviso, they have the mariachi. Every Wednesday, they have a mariachi band. We had probably a dozen of us that went down there on Wednesday just so I can introduce what a mariachi band is to people. But then the Stellas, they have their outdoor patio now. They have some places there's some rooms upstairs you can rent for some private events that people don't know about. Then, of course, Billy Wilson's.
I just started thinking about a Billy Wilson's burger when you were talking.
Yes.
I love the burger say.
Yes, it's old school burgers. I swear they probably put a whole pack of Lipton onion soup into there. I don't know. And the fries. They're known for their fries and for their wings.
It's simple stuff right there.
That's it. And they always make me a grilled cheese. Don't tell them I told you that. But, that's that. And then now they're starting to finally get retail. And I was just talking to Karen from Briar Patch. The Briar Patch, there's a little retail shop that's amazing. So if you want to go down there for some fun, just gifts to give your mother-in-law or your sister, your best friend or whatever, the Briar Patch is right there, right? And then, you have the camera shop there, and then you have the Two Sisters, or is it Three Sisters? Three Sisters.
Two Sisters is in Groton.
It's in the packing, yeah. So Three Sisters, and I just talked to her about doing a fun. It's going to be like not a business after hours, but some type of after hours thing to kind of get people downtown. And we're going to open that all up with cream. Yep. You have the and then right on the corner there, what's it called? Right across the street, I get food from there all the time, but they have a great walk-in breakfast and also walk-in right across from the courthouse, and they have some really, really, really good food, and you can just get your, to-go meals, and you just pack it all up there.
Don't be afraid to walk up to Delia's, please, guys.
And Delia's is amazing. Their grinders. Is that your favorite?
Oh, yeah. I know he's having to smush it for me. Yes. So, and he's probably listening because I know they do listen to the station.
Good. I'm glad.
Yeah, that family's been around. The largest operating restaurant in the city.
Yes.
It is.
Yes.
That's true story.
I believe it.
Yeah, I asked him. He's like, because his family been there forever. So much excitement going on in the community, so much excitement. And, if we turned on the national conversations, we'd find a lot of reasons to be depressed, right? I love the fact that we can just so focus. And that's what a good community is. When people can just focus on the community, come together and not pay attention to all the noise. You kind of remind me, lifestyle, I don't know if you noticed, you're channeling Kenny Chesney. You're like a Kenny Chesney of knowledge. Right? No Shoes Nation, Angela. Yeah.
I walk all summer long with Usher, so that makes sense.
You bring people together in those environments, and it's music with you. It's a good time. It's just making smiles. So.
Well, that's what I mean. I understand, and I'm not blind to a lot of the challenges that we have and such. Especially even a couple years ago, one of the things that I did was that when I was walking downtown is and it's frustrating to me because I know all the good things that are either on the horizon or that are already happening that maybe some people don't know about. But walking down right after they did the turnaround, right, the roundabout that's down there, and there's a lot of controversy with that. And of course, there's roundabouts going on West Main Street, and it's not that I'm oblivious to those things, but we have to kind of just we know that there's negativity, we know that there's challenges, but when I was walking down, the tulips would just come up. It happened to be a beautiful day. It's probably rained all weekend, so it was just beautiful. And I'm walking down and I see the restaurants, but I'm also seeing all the signs open, open, open. So you had, Briar Patch wasn't open at the time, but you had all these different places. But then you look across the street and you see empty, empty, empty. Mm-hmm. And I sat there and I thought, okay, if you were just to drive downtown through it, if you look right, you see open signs, you see vibrancy, you see all these cool things going on. You look left, empty building, but Kevin's had his own challenges going in there and doing these. We used to call it vanilla box, but going in and they had some funding to go in and basically paint the walls, making sure the ceiling tiles, everything was okay for somebody to move in and be able to now do. They don't have to worry about all the other things. So if you want to look left and you want to see the negativity, then fine, look right.
Exactly.
And if you want to, I'm going to look right. It's not a political thing. It's not right. So I don't want people to think that. It's just more of like believing there's change that is coming on the horizon. Like I said with Preston, it's when I did all my rural grant, I had a rural grant that I went in there and I tried to figure out what a downtown is for a lot of my towns. A lot of them are rural towns. So, Voluntown. I used to live in Voluntown. My ex-husband lives there in a beautiful little house up on a corner. And there's not a typical downtown. You have a pizza place. You have their right across the street from that. You have their park and everything. And now they have a disc golf, and then but they have all those things that they're building. But one of the things they got is, okay, how do we connect that? So now they're building sidewalks and lighting and all sorts of things to lead to get to that pizza place.
Connectivity, right? So those events and Voluntown, Sterling, love those places. You got a caller now.
Again.
Huh?
Joe?
Joe, come on back on. Joe, I didn't mean to cut you off. We're just finishing up a Jen, and I want to give you some time to finish up the Red Cross. How are you?
Good. How are you? And thank you so much for listening to us. We're really in a tough spot right now. We've got 3 blood drives coming up this weekend, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And as I mentioned before, that we only have nationally, we only have less than 1 day national supply of type O positive blood. So we really need people to come out, make appointments, or just walk in over to Norwich Donor Center, 45 Salem Turnpike.
Hey, Joe, are you the one that I was emailing with? This is Angela from the chamber.
Yes, Angela.
Yes, yeah, I'm good, thank you. Yes, so I heard when you were talking about it, or they were talking about it on the radio this morning, and one of the things I had mentioned a little bit after you called, I thought that was you, is we're trying to connect some of the businesses to run a blood drive at your facility in order to gain more exposure, right? So how do they go about doing that? Besides, I've already told a couple of businesses and they were going to reach out to you, but how do they go about doing that with you? If an organization wanted to get together and run a blood drive with you?
It's that simple, because I've also been working because I've had a couple of churches, Angela, that have reached out to me to just send me an email. It's Joseph. My first name, Joseph, Olzaki, OLZACKI, at redcross.org.
Yeah, so I know that we're going to try to get some people together as well. I had talked to the Women's City Council. They did a blood drive, and it's something that is pretty easy to do. So, I mean, I don't mind partnering up and helping to get all these events out there when they do call you as well. And, it's something as simple as you do all the to work. They can set up a table. They can meet some of the people out there. They can kind of share whatever their mission is, the churches, the nonprofits, or events that are coming up. And they can just hand stuff out to people and get to know people and just welcome them in, right? It's a simple thing.
Yeah, and the only thing we ask our sponsors to do outside of showing up the day of their blood drive is to sign up donors.
Yes.
Because as you can see, I mean, this is the first time in many, many years that we have fallen to such a low amount of blood in the stores. I mean, right now, I went to a meeting on Tuesday. American Red Cross declared its second ever national blood supply. Now, even after 9/11, as you remember, everybody lined up to give blood because we needed so much blood done. We're at that point. We have to limit the distributions of type O blood to the hospitals. So if you're going for an operation, you make it a call saying, we've got to find some blood for you. We specifically, how many hundreds of accidents have we had in Connecticut on the highways on 395 and 95? How many cancer patients are requiring blood? So we're getting thousands of pints of blood to our hospitals every week. It's not that we can just go into a lab and mix them up. We for some reason, the amount of donors has dropped, or they'll make appointments and they'll forget to come. But this is very serious. And again, I'm doing everything I can. I actually came in on my day off because I'm calling every business I can just to see if I can just tell their folks, come on down to the Norwich Donor Center, 45 Salem Turnpike on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and I need your help.
Yep, and they can also contact the chamber too. So 887-1647. You can talk to me, Angela, when you call, and then we can help to try to connect and see what we can do to help to promote it. It's pretty simple when you go there too. As far as you promoting it, they'll give you a link. We can help you with the flyers. I can help you with the flyers, and then we can provide. You just provide, on your website or whatever, or an event, or we can put on our community calendar to say, here's the link. And you just click the link, and then people can go right there and pick the day that they want to do it, and then support the organization that might be putting it on, but also be able to get back to the community. So we'll continue to get that word out for you, Joe. And then obviously the radio station. I heard it this morning, I believe on WCTY on my way in that they were talking about it as well. So you're doing a great job promoting it.
Well, I'm just trying because, as I told you, I'm a retired guy that wanted to get involved, wanted to do something for human services, and I never realized that we were going to be in this tough of a state for getting blood. Just to give you an idea, I'm looking at the numbers where people have signed up. We've got 3 days for, actually, Jen Erler from United Community and Family Services in Norwich. That makes a 4th blood drive. We've got almost nobody signed up.
Okay, we're going to change the Joe. You know what we're going to do? We're going to get you on the show here in a week or two if you don't mind. I know you're busy, but I want you to connect with Tyler, please. Thank you for the update, and thank you, guys. If we're out there listening, definitely make sure you get a hold of the Red Cross locally and donate wherever you are, because this is an important thing. We all need, somebody in our family, loved ones, whoever can be affected by this. Angela, thank you for coming on today.
Thank you. And I want to give a little plug out. I know you'll say all about the events coming up, but we have our first Friday event tonight with T-Tones. We are watching the weather. There might be a little blip that might come through at 5 o'clock. Hopefully it'll just come and go, and we're still going to try to have that. And next week is Red Light.
Red Light.
And we have to change up the band for Friday because our acoustic singer unfortunately can't make it, so I have to figure out who's going to come. So if you're an acoustic singer, you can give me a call.
Tyler, you sing?
Come on, Tyler.
Not I.
So follow us on gnacc.org or norwichchamber.com. Again, you can give me a call, 887-1647. Email me, Angela Adams at norwichchamber.com.
There it is, the Chamber Chatter with the update from Angela, who is doing amazing here. Not a co-host, a partner. Thank you so much, Angela. Back in a moment, One Tribute Radio. We'll wrap it up. Me and Tyler will have to share some thoughts about what a great show with Jen and Angela. Back in a moment, right here on WICH.
This summer, history meets high fashion in Mystic. Mystic Museum of Art presents Lux, Connecticut, Velvet Mills to Modern Runways, a one-of-a-kind exhibition exploring Connecticut's textile history, from historic velvet mills to today's fashion designers. See stunning beadwork, quilts, embroidery, velvet fashions, and designs by Christian Siriano, Peter Salm, Zaria Lockhart, and Toriana Sorrow. On view June 26th to October 11th. Come experience the stories stitched into every snub. Learn more at mysticmuseumofart.org.
Hey, it's Dave Elder. I know you don't want to be thinking about winter because we're in the middle of summer, but remember last year we'll be having all those blizzards? Well, trade the blizzards for the beaches. Stop shoveling the snow, but then you'll be sailing the high seas with a 100% chance of sun and pina coladas on Rock the Boat 8. You can join me, Dave Elder, along with my friends Shimmy Lane and Franco from the radio station, and the band Brandon aboard the brand new Norwegian Aqua sailing to the Eastern Caribbean. A couple days at sea, their private island, the British Virgin Islands, the Dominican, and lots more. Plus, there'll be dance parties with the band Brandon, DJ, poker tournament, and karaoke, all taxes, meals in complimentary restaurants, and beverages like beer and wine and soft drinks, and even a specialty restaurant too, and special pricing, plus Wi-Fi and all kinds of other fun stuff. Get more information at bookthatescape.com with the cruise planner Mark Bokoff, and join us August 11th at Beth Jacobs Synagogue at 7 p.m. for an information night. We give more information. That's bookthatescape.com, and you'll be sailing the seas and beating winter with us on the radio station. All right, welcome back right here. What a great show we had. Angela Adams, of course, with the Chamber Chatter coming in each week, bringing in amazing guests. Tyler behind the board doing his thing, pressing buttons, and, well, just pressing me on everything. He presses me on so much. He impresses me, actually, but I'm sure I depress him. I think a good show again this week. We're here on WIC 1310 and One Table Radio. When I came in from the break, Tyler and Angel were talking a little bit about the One Table speaking series at the Chestnut. We're talking about that and some of the other exciting things. And it's interesting because as Angel brings in these new guests, right, and the people that we're reconnecting with, it's like reinvigorating connections and opportunities. So this is how community radio works at its best right here, and we hopefully are doing it justice. Tyler, what do you got planned for the weekend?
I have zero weekend plans personally. I just want to comment on. So I think it's interesting dynamic because I'm not from Norwich at all, and then you're from here, yeah, absolutely. So at least whenever you get to meet people, you have a history, and you're coming at it from a person who's been here. And I'm a completely new bystander, but it is definitely interesting to me. To see the connection this community has with one another, and the business and the Chamber of Commerce, and how well they do and how interconnected everyone seems to be.
Yeah, businesses, services, and a service like a local radio station specifically is one of the biggest services you can have. And people get their news from here right now. By the way, anyone wants to call, we got some time. 860-889-5252. You can call in and say hi. We got a few minutes left here, as Tyler and I are just going to chew the fat here, so to speak, and have, just whatever comes to our mind, talk about. But you're 100% spot on. Your perspective being from outside looking in. I agree with you, for sure. I think this is a community of caring, good-hearted people, and at the end of the day, even in debates, people come together and support each other. And nothing bigger to support guys than the Red Cross. So thanks you to John for calling in and sharing that right here with the listeners. The Red Cross in the city, I think you're going to be doing that read again before we end, maybe one more time, about some of the services or the Red Cross events that are taking place. Tyler, some of the things that are coming up, some of the people we're reaching out to, some musicians. We have a high-end watch, business, and meaning like Rolexes and tags and all these fancy. The watch industry is a huge industry, but we're scheduling a couple other. We have a documentary. A guy that we met, actually we were filming out at Foxwoods when we met with Ashley Williams, who's a professional boxer. He was a part of the documentary, and we're actually going to speak to the filmmaker at some point from England. We'll be calling in and sharing that story with us. Just a lot of good stuff. What's on your wish list for going forward here? I mean, just continue this flow. Honestly, I feel like every single connection we've made has been something that I want to continue. Even the Ashley Williams and the British film guy, that was such a random pull for us out of nowhere. And but I love that the organic meeting of people, when things come as a surprise. So I like taking it day by day and just we kind of fly by the seat of our pants, but I like that. We don't necessarily need a set in stone structure, and I don't think a set in stone structure would ever really agree with your mindset or the way you schedule things. Me. Yes. Yeah. We're kind of an open flow. There's no real control to the flow chart here, but there's the reason behind that is organic, it's real, and it's purposeful in some ways. I think structure is definitely something where you give me structure. Don't get me wrong. I mean, there's a time, there's stops, and that's why you're behind the board and I'm not. But at the end of the day, conversation should be open and connecting to people, right? Connecting people. So you got some of the other things that we talked about with Angela, or not just the community events going into 2027, but sort of the whole inspiration is like you see things happening in your community that is infectious to other people. So you're really helping people understand from an outsider that good things are happening right here in the great city of Norwich. Yeah, absolutely. So when Angela was sharing her story, it reminded me. So a few years ago, I was walking down the street and I seen this little girl, and I was walking by this festival, and she let go of her balloon, and she looked up, and I thought for sure she was about to start crying, because she just lost her balloon. And instead, she just started giggling and waving and said, "Bye, bye, balloon." And that's kind of been the outlook I've had towards everything. It's like, I can cry because I lost my balloon, or I can just take the time and enjoy the moment and move on. And it was kind of the same thing when she was talking about you can look left and see all the beautiful booming businesses, and look right and see everything open and shut down. A lot of it falls into how we choose to look at things, and I've been so fortunate that like this program and just everything in my life, this year especially, 2025 was a horrendous year for me, and I think a lot of people. But 2026 has been a really a positive year for me, just bringing me back to a time of peace. That's great. So I'm excited for what's to come. That's awesome, right there. And I think that's thank you. And one day on an upcoming show, we'll talk about how we met, and talk about our stories. And everyone has a story. So even out there as listeners, guys, I would really love for people to call in and take a couple minutes, share your story, share what's going on in your life, open phone kind of concept. And we'd like to do that as well moving forward in the community like this, which is broad, as Angela talks about. We're working with Preston and all the towns. They're kind of continuous like communities that just kind of connect with each other. There's going to be a lot of events going on over the next few months because the end of summer, getting into the fall. No better place in the world. I say that London County is like almost San Diego of the East Coast San Diego. It's got perfect weather from now until we get into the snow. So there's going to be a lot of things to do, guys, and so don't hold back. And like Tyler said, go look for the balloon, smile to the balloon when it's rising. What a great little story you shared there. The other thing is, look, if you're out there and you have a business and you're interested in being involved, reach out to the Norwich Chamber and reach out to Angela directly. I know that there's benefit from those relationships that can help with your business, and you can help in the community. So make sure you're reaching out, doing that as well. You got some reads to do, or you got some paperwork in here. Look very official right now, Tyler. Absolutely. I'm going to talk about a few local community events and programs. August 4th, the Norwich PD is having a national night out at Howard Brown Park. They are looking to drop off. It is a free family activity And it's going to have bounce houses for children, public safety displays, public safety cruisers and trucks, free food and refreshments, face painting, games and giveaway, music and performances, as well as a photo booth. They are hoping to build safer neighborhoods and stronger together. Again, that will be Norwich's Police Department's National Night Out 2026, August 4th. August 6th through the 8th, Preston is having their second annual Summer Carnival. It is free admission with free nightly concerts. Ride tickets and limited ride bracelets will be available for purchase on site. They will be welcoming suggested donations of $1 per person, but everyone is welcome. The donations should certainly help. 8/7 we have Friday, the first Friday, downtown Norwich, 6 to 8 p.m. Touch a Truck and Back to School fundraiser. Kids can climb aboard, explore exciting trucks and community vehicles, meet local heroes, and learn about people who help keep our community moving. Help us support local students by bringing new school supplies to donate. Backpacks, notebooks, pencils, crayons, folders, and other classroom essentials all are welcome. And then 8, we will have our annual community backpack giveaway at 11 to 1 at St. John's Christian Church and the City of Groton Police Department. They will host an annual community outreach backpack event. All ages are welcome. A fun-filled day featuring a backpack giveaway, food, music, family-friendly activities, and community resources. This event is a wonderful opportunity to come together as a community, connect with your local organizations, and help students prepare for the upcoming school year. And back to you, Kevin. Back to you, Kevin. That's our weekend at a glance. There it is, weekend at a glance. Tyler, you're doing amazing over there. Thank you for reading all that announcements right there. So some interesting things that are also going on, just sort of in Connecticut in general. As we approach towards the end of summer, kids are going back to school. These things are going to start perking up again. So just enjoy the rest of the summer out there. This is the one thing I'll say. This is your last for the kids that are listening, which maybe one or two out of the 10 or 12 people that might be out there listening to us. We hope. Whoever's listening, we appreciate you first and foremost. But the kids that are out there, this is your last month, man. And I remember when I was a kid, man, this is your last month when you got a chance to, you got to get it all in before school comes back around. So make sure you're enjoying yourself. We were talking about this not that long ago. One of my favorite things in the summer, it didn't cost any money. It was a glass jar and chasing fireflies. Yeah, we kind of talked about that, right? Yeah. Is there fireflies around anymore? Are they gone? They're still around. I don't think they're as popular anymore. But why? What happened to them? That's a question, a serious one. I don't know. I used to live in a more wooded area, so I used to see them back growing up. I know we used flashlights. We would, turn the flashlight on real quick. You flick the flashlight and they'd blink back. Yeah. Wild. Yeah. What makes them light up like that? That's kind of interesting. I'm pretty sure that's how they attract mates. They communicate with one another. That's an attracting, to attract a mate. Yeah. And so at nighttime, they're out working the room. Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. That's why when you flick a light, they flick back. And that's kind of wrong because now you're confusing the poor fly. Yeah, flies don't have a long life. So, you don't want to confuse them anymore and take them off their game. So, short brain power. But, in the other parts of summer that, I remember before I was going back to school was, we're actually going to school. This is one thing I loved. Going shopping. Getting a couple, it was maybe one pair of pants and sneakers and a shirt, whatever, a couple pairs of shirts, maybe a couple shirts and a couple pants and some sneakers, right? And I remember, anything that's out there, most of my clothes came from Zales, okay? Cowboys, Ames, Sears and Richard, but most of them were used hand-me-downs. But that one fresh, crisp outfit you could wear day one was one of the most important days. Did you have that or you didn't care? I did not. You didn't care. I think it's generation. I don't think you had that. Your generation is a little different. It also was my person to person because there are those people who I grew up with who cared about. Yeah. I never cared about my clothes or anything like that. I didn't mind the hand-me-downs. Like that. it wasn't for me. Like other people cared about my style and yell at me and tell me I need to dress up. And when I moved in my eye, it was big. The appearance, everything with the hole got thrown away and everything got replaced and everything. And yeah, it was nice, but like at the same time, I didn't care. It just didn't. Well, I don't know. You clearly care now because you look good. And so, as we get here about another 5 or 6 minutes before we go, about 8 minutes maybe. How about 4? 4 minutes. We're 4 minutes away before we say goodbye. We bid farewell to the One Table Radio Show. We're looking for some interviews, guys. If you have a topic out there in a community event, if you have a local business, if you have a local story, if you look for. Hey, anybody who's listening out there, great point, thank you. The Bigfoot sighting out in Voluntown, Connecticut. We got to research. If anyone knows about this, I think the individual who saw Bigfoot, and I'm not going to say claims because he said he saw Bigfoot. We're going to approach this with, and I kind of feel like there's things out there in the world that a lot of us say no, and some of us are skeptical. But I'm going to talk to that guy because that's pretty cool story in itself. Because I really thought Bigfoot was not, I didn't think he was around here. Oh, absolutely. From Bigfoot, and then, as time goes on, I would like to go find out about Lake Zurich and the spaceship at the bottom there. And where's Lake Zurich? Lake Zurich is in Connecticut. The spaceship? What do you mean? That's the story. There's a spaceship at the bottom of Lake Zurich. The cats landed there, yes. Really? Are they hanging out, or what are they doing, these people? I do not know, and I would like to find out more. Because you think the UFOs and all that stuff, you have it, you believe in it? Absolutely. The universe is constantly expanding, and to believe that we are the only sentient creature, and sentient creature? Whew. Yeah, that's a big one, Tyler. Yes, sir. To think we're the only sentient creature within this universe is, mighty presumptuous of us. So, this gets into a conversation. Clearly, I have a relationship with Jesus Christ, and so a lot of people, and I'm not offended by anyone that says this, by the way, you know what? Because I do think fallen angels, there's all kinds of, tie-ins to these conversations. But one thing is certain, the conversations of aliens is going to be one that I think it's going to perk up big time really soon. I feel like I've been watching and reading some stuff. Joe Rogan, of course, is one of the greatest to press on this. And without Joe Rogan, by the way, I'm going to say this to the world. And people can criticize the radio, the podcast. Joe Rogan has done more for freedom of information than most people in the media world have. And I'm not saying he's perfect at everything. He's worse at everything. I think he's an amazing, talented guy. But what he's done to release or force information to release, amazing, and definitely something we should aspire to do in ourselves. Now, we want to wrap this up on a positive note, right? Positive note. So this weekend we have 1 minute to go here. This weekend, what is the Red Cross events and all that? You got one caller in there? Maybe just say goodbye to your radio. Who is this? Go right to him. Let's go. All right, we got 30 seconds. Actually, we're gonna go right to you. 30 seconds. We got 30 seconds. Sorry about that. We're wrapping the show up. Give me an update. 30 seconds.
I just want to mention that the UFOs, of course, were spotted many years ago, and Canada was experimenting with those long before any of us would believe it. Also, I've heard of that big stuff, and I think it's good to stay out of the woods because the bears have been spotted.
Personality Radio 1310 WICH Norwich, 94.5 W233 DB Norwich. 1310 WICH Norwich, 94.5 W233 DB Norwich. News this hour at Town Hall. I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. President Trump says his new policies are bringing down the cost of prescription drugs.
We're achieving record discounts on prescription drugs. Prescription drugs were going through the roof for many years, and now we're getting record discounts with